What's up, y'all? Got my head back, all assembled, looking super clean, super good. I just threw it on here. I wanted to film it, but I'm out of time. It's dumping snow outside. I got the last few parts that I've been waiting on in the mail today, so time's wasting. I got to get cracking. I'm sick and tired of, waiting on parts. All the prep work, everything. That's what I spend my time doing when somebody tells me, oh yeah, we got this in stock, we'll ship it today. Nope, it's goddamn November, and I ordered shit back in August. So gotta get this done and work towards the goal of getting it in the car tomorrow. All right, so not running, just in the car tomorrow. I'm gonna film what I can. I'm gonna time lapse a lot of it, but I'm on a time crunch right now with this, and just give you a quick walk around in the head. And before I put the cam caps on, I mean, it's just too pretty. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. And cam caps on, cams on, timing chain on, timing set, valve lash adjusted. After all that's said and done, valve covers going on, timing cover, oil pan, getting it outside, and then bolting on the rest of the accessory mounts, manifold, exhaust manifold, and getting it prepped, and hopefully, bolted into the motor mounts tomorrow. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Let's get to it. My RBC head came back. Apparently, this head, all but 4 valves in this head were bent. All right, keep in mind, I bought this car used. I tested compression and it was good. However, these valves were bent. I went and saw it for myself, so I had to order a set of SuperTech valves, and they're in there now. So now we're rocking everything except for SuperTech bronze valve guides in this head. All right, and she just looks so damn clean. Oh man. All right, well, that's enough gawking at it. I'm gonna have to get some assembly lube, some cams, and some chains on. Okay, also I apologize for not filming the installation of the head. This is kind of, an informative and how-to channel as far as K-Series and 8th Gen Civics go, but, after having to order new valves, wait for those, this whole thing of waiting on parts is just driving me up the wall, and I'm too antsy, and I'm ready to hear this thing start, and I'm ready to hear it run, and I'm ready to drive it. So yeah, as soon as I got the head back, it was good to go. I put the Arp Head Studs in, followed their guidelines and the spec that Arp outlines that come with your head studs. It's a little piece of paper, so if you're doing the same thing, follow that. All right. Aside from that, didn't touch the Cometic head gasket with human hands, used gloves. All right, you don't have to use gloves, but you should avoid getting your greasy fingers all over it. All right, you don't want the human oils on there or anything else like that. Some people swear by wiping it down with like brake cleaner or some sort of solvent or something like that, but I took it straight out of the package wearing gloves. I slapped it on the head, made sure everything lined up properly, all the dowels lined up, the head studs lined up, all the passageways for oil and water for the head and the block lined up, and slid the head right on. And then I followed Honda's torque sequence, which I will share with you right here. Aside from that was putting on the head. I was happy to get it done, and next K motor I build, remember, I've got 2 more blocks, I've got 2 more heads, and for some reason I have a spare set of Type R camshafts for K20. I don't know where they came from, but whatever. So So, anywho, next motor, we'll go from start to finish. Hopefully we won't have these problems with, you know, the delays in parts and everything that I've been dealing with. It's just frustrated me to no end. All that aside, we're going to move right along, and we're going to cover a comprehensive how-to on how to time this engine. All right, because there are some key steps that if you do not do it correctly, you will be fighting with it, flustered with it, and you will be off a tooth or 2 or 5. And you know, just some, you know, small little things that will make or break your engine. All right, so we're gonna get. All right, so I got the rocker arm assembly and the cam caps. You can see the gap in between here. They are not even hand tight yet. All right, before you put the camshafts in, before you put this upper cam cap on onto the rocker arm assembly, first thing is first. All right, so let's go over some of the marks on the engine. We'll get to these later. All right, but the most important right here. Okay, so now if you look right here, this arrow and this arrow, okay, let's just go ahead, yeah, because I'm OCD like that. All right, when those two are lined up right there, that is your TDC indicator. Now naturally you need to ensure that your engine is at top dead center on the compression stroke. So we're doing an engine build here where everything is pretty much taken apart. You can simply take your hand right up here and you can feel the built up pressure coming out from the spark plug hole as you rotate this engine clockwise. Okay, so there's your TDC mark. Now another key mark down here is this hash mark right here. Okay, that's going to be important further down the road, but that is where we're going to line our gold link for our timing chain. All right, and we're going to line that up now that our engine is at top dead center, our bottom end assembly, so that we can sync it with our top end assembly. Okay, so right here, all right, see those two marks? I'm looking straight at it. I'm holding the camera as steady as I can. You'll notice this mark is generally just off of a hair. All right, this one is more of an angle that way. All right, but the important thing right here is that these two marks right here line up as closely as possible. Now granted, nothing is torqued down yet. Okay, you want to get them as close as possible, and when I say that and y'all go to do this, y'all are going to be fighting and struggling and, you know, just losing your shit because you haven't gone over this next step. On the K series, as with most Honda engines, you have lost motion assemblies right back there. Okay, and if you'll see, I have these two Allen keys pointed up. All right, these are your cam index holes. All right, that is to keep your cams in time while you're putting on the timing belt, you're doing valve adjustments, you're tightening the cam caps, installing or removing cams, whatever. Honda makes a special tool that's pretty much, you know, a dowel that's smooth, that's this size of Allen wrench, and it's linked with a steel cable to the same thing on the opposite side. So you put them in there, okay? You put those in there because obviously there is tension on this camshaft right here due to the lost motion assemblies pushing up on the VTEC lobe up against the camshaft and being able and keeping it from being able to just drop freely and set in there. Those, you can use a drill bit, you can use Allen keys, but those index holes need to be lined up and you need to secure it with something, either the OEM Honda tool, preferably, some Allen wrenches, like I've done, and you need to make sure your cams are lined up right here. Okay, now this one, there we go. Okay, now at this point you just want to hand tighten the cam caps down. You want to hand tighten them in sequence that I'm going to go over right here. Alright y'all, we're tightening this down in the sequence that I showed on the screen earlier to 16 foot-pounds. So here we go. Alright everybody, so we've got our cam caps torqued down in the proper sequence to 16 pound-feet. Alright, now you want to align your marks. Alright, make sure that the punch mark, this is the punch mark, alright? These are the index marks, okay? Make sure the punch mark is in between these two gold links on the Honda OEM timing chain. It doesn't have to be. It's not going to be the end of the world. As long as your cam gears are lined up properly and your engine, your bottom end, is set to TDC in accordance with the #1 cylinder on the compression stroke, it doesn't matter where this chain goes, but that's where those gold links are for. That's what Honda put them in. Again, down here, if you look, that gold link is directly lined up with the hash mark. All right, so a lot of people get mixed up and they line this gold mark up with the TDC mark right here, and the engine's all out of time and everything else like that. Now I say you don't have to use those gold links, but I mean, as far as K series go, that's what everybody uses to index off them, so you might as well do it. Because if you're working on anybody else's engine, or anybody else comes to work on your engine and you've done some weird janky shit, you know, next thing you know, your timing's going to be off, you're going to have bent valves and everything's going to be all jacked up. So since I've only got one hand, I'm not going to really record this, but this is my best trick to get the timing chain tensioner on all by myself without a pry bar or anything else like that. I mean, I will use a pry bar eventually, but everything is lined up, everything is in time, everything is set. All right, the index holders on the back of the camshafts have been removed, and I hang the timing chain tensioner right here like so with one bolt, and then I just rotate up and then I finger tight in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and I will get back to y'all once we have completed the timing chain. So next is adjusting the valve lash, and this is just going to be a time lapse of me suffering because I hate it. I hope y'all enjoyed watching me suffer through adjusting 16 valves. Horrible, worst thing ever. Anyways, last piece we got to put on before we prep the timing cover with RTV, aka Honda Bond. It's just RTV. There's nothing special about it. Is the crank trigger wheel. Alright, so if you notice right here, we have our part number, and it has the word outside. Alright, that means this side that has outside printed on it faces outside. Like so. Alright. So I'm going to throw an O-ring in the timing cover. I'll show you where that is. I'm going to smear some RTV all over it and get it bolted up, and then we'll move on to the oil pan, and I'll catch up with y'all then.